as we talk about intuitive self-service portals, one of the nice things about Atlassian is that you can actually brand your help center. So you can have your logo up there. So in our situation, it could be HERSM. If it's your company, you can brand it to look and feel like it's part of your organization as opposed to a third-party platform. Branding your customer portal and the help center are great ways to kind of make it feel more of part of the organization. You can also basically help customers find request types. You'll get to see this during the demo. And you'll also be able to set up a knowledge base that's specific to your organization. And Russ will go through a bit of those examples of how easy it is to have that self-service portal set up. Automation and workflow customization. What's nice about this is you'll be able to auto-assign issues to your team. You can also auto-close old JSM tickets. Some of these automations allow you to reopen issues if a customer comments on a closed issue. You'll see what the customer view looks like during the demo. And then we also have an automation library that basically comes out of the box as you're starting to set up your instance, as you make progressions through kind of your ITSM environment. And that kind of takes us to the next piece, which is the powerful reporting and analytics. Again, a lot of this is right out of the box within Jira Service Management. If it's not, there are a number of apps that are in the marketplace that can assist with that. And some of the most common ones we see are SLA met versus breached, created versus resolved. So one was a ticket created, one was resolved, how quick time to resolution, what have been my SLA success rates, incidents by priority, change by type. Again, these are just a handful of the reports out of the box that Atlassian has to offer with JSM. We see that these are very common and kind of the most popular ones. Russ, what are some of the other ones that you see where organizations are looking for on a reporting basis?
Well, so it's often overlooked that the Jira Service Management project, it's kind of like a mini cube, right? So it's a little bit of a business intelligence built into Jira Service Management. So not only that it comes with powerful reporting out of the box, but you can actually create custom reports within Jira Service Management. And so I think that's one of the biggest advantages. I'm not going to be trying to oversell it. It is, a little bit more on a simple side. If you do want to have other tools brought in, it's often overlooked that you may not have necessarily a plugin or connector to the to Jira Service Management from tools like Power BI or Tableau, but there are APIs that you can tap into and essentially bring that information over into your business intelligence tools and build your cubes and do reporting there. And so all that information is available, and if you know how to get at it, you can, and if not, we can help you. The other thing is, depending on the type of instance or that you have, whether it's premium or enterprise, there's also Atlassian analytics that are available, and so you're able to report on a lot more with the Atlassian analytics than just simple JSM reporting. And so that aspect of it is very, very powerful.
So integration, and some of these things again are included with JSM. So Opsgenie, if you have a premium version of JSM, Opsgenie comes with it. Opsgenie can help you from a standpoint of notifying internally that there's an issue, who should be contacted, kind of that chain of command when things are going wrong. Status page, which is a separate standalone tool that basically will give you a status page, right? So if my website is down, creates a status page. If there's an outage of some sort, creates a status page. That way we start to minimize tickets.
I think it's good to kind of remember that there's an Atlassian marketplace, and so that's kind of the first step when we started discussing the integrations, right? So there's certain things that are available out of the box, right? Slack or Teams, those are pretty standard. And obviously the internal integration with the with the Atlassian tools, right? It's in parallel, the titans of integration between Opsgenie, Status Page, Jira, Confluence, and so on. But as you start kind of venturing forward, and especially if you're a bigger organization, there's myriad of different connectors and plugins that you can utilize that will connect your tools.
So before we jump into the demo, when you're looking at either if you have an ITSM tool, if you're considering a new one, we run into so many organizations that are using Excel spreadsheets or trying to use standard Jira software as their ITSM platform. There's a lot of advantages to using Jira Service Management.
And so let's jump in. As kind of Greg started his presentation, I'll try to stick to the kind of talking points as we're going through this. Everything starts with the help center, right? So we're going to take a look at the view of a customer, right? And a customer, when I say customer, kind of going along with the a theme of JSM for every team. I mean, it's been our message for a longest time that any team essentially is a service team, and so within the organization, you will have an IT organization providing services. You'll have human resources providing services, marketing providing services to other units in the organization. So every team can be a service team, and so that you kind of see that represented in the help center. And so help center essentially, we had this a nickname for it. It's kind of like a portal of portals, right? And so any portals that you as a customer may have access to, whether you're an external customer or internal customer within the company, all those types of requests are going to be available to you. And so in my case, since I have a little bit more elevated permissions, I have quite a few portals available for me, right? So you have the service desk, which is IT, your facilities, human resources, so on and so forth. You can also see that the portals are a little bit, intelligent and intuitive. And so as I've been working with this portal, it kind of accumulated some of the requests that I've been using. And so that shows up as the recently reused requests. One of the things that Greg did bring up is the customization. And so we've seen this evolve throughout the years that we're implementing Jira Service Management, and this piece of it evolved quite a bit. And so you can add a login message. So once you get into a help center, you'll be able to have a customized message. Any of the announcements. So if you have any issue, so if you have any activities around upgrades, downtime, and all that stuff that can show up on the portal as well, in conjunction with the status page. You can customize look and feel. You can add your logo, change the color, and so on and so forth. All of that is available all out of the box, and admins will be able to go ahead and make those changes when they get started with the Jira Service Management. And so let's not wait for long. So to start with, you've got this kind of a search type of a box that essentially spans across all of our service desks that are available. And so what I'm going to try putting in said, I need new VPN. And as you see, the kind of the service management piece of it is thinking, and it comes up with two things. It shows first the articles that may help solve your issue. And so the main point of Jira Service Management is to minimize the work that the agents are doing, right? So if I'm going to have 100 people kind of asking the same thing, and I can make that into an article and have them use that as a self-help, why not do that? And so here we've got a couple of articles that come up that talk about the setting up a VPN. And so as a customer, before you're opening up a ticket and spend time talking to the agents, you can actually go and take a look at the article and see, hey, maybe this will actually help me solve my problem. And if it is, great. If it is not, then you can go back and start looking at the creating a new request. And so it gives you a kind of suggestions in terms of what tickets you can open. But if it's not any of the tickets that are there, you can actually go to a specialized service desk and take a look at maybe here I can take a look at the at some of the offerings that the catalog that has for the tickets that I can open up. And so, and again, it'll still kind of push you a little because of the context that you said into towards the article for the VPN. But if not, you can go ahead and start creating a request. And so here you can go in and say, hey, request an office, Wi-Fi, and VPN. And essentially what happens is that you are able to set up the service catalog. So you have the categories, like you saw in here, we've got logins, common requests, workspace place devices, login and accounts. And so all of these are under the specific area that you may need to request help under. And so I'm going to put that in. I need new VPN, and you'll see, regardless whether it'll still show you some articles. Maybe it'll solve your problem, maybe not. And so with this, I'm going to say, okay, none of these will work for me. I'm going to go ahead and create a ticket. And so as we're kind of going through the portal, obviously we created a ticket. That's great. We've got the ticket view of the customer, right? You're able to either escalate it if it's not, if it hasn't been resolved to your liking. You can resolve the issue, you figure it out yourself so that, it kind of goes past the agent, or you can cancel the request altogether. The other thing is you can bring in other folks into the conversation around your problem. So if you want to bring in your manager, maybe another person in your team that may help you solve the request, you can hit share and bring in the person. You can put in the name, the email address, or the organization, and everybody in that who you tagged is going to get notified and will be able to see this ticket. Now, obviously, I may have more than one ticket open at the same time, and here it shows that I have 7 requests. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the requests area. And so essentially this lists all of the requests that we have in the system. And so not only that I can see the request that I created, but it's actually, I can see the request where I'm a participant. So if I was tagged and somebody shared a ticket with me, I'll be able to see that. And so I can choose the filter for where I'm a participant. The other thing is, and we've seen this used a lot, is creating a ticket on behalf of somebody. And so if, for example, I have a manager that wants to request a laptop for me, for example. He can open up a ticket on my behalf, put in all the information that's needed, and I'll have that ticket in this list as well. And so the interaction between the agent and the customer happens, for the customer through the portal, and then as we go in on the agent side, we'll take a look at what that looks like for the agent. And so that's only one way to open up a ticket. Jira Service Management support multiple ways to open up a ticket depending on how you set this up in your organization. And so essentially, you can do it through the portal like we did. You can actually send an email. Jira Service Management will take the subject of the email and put that into summary, and then take the body of the email and put that into description. And so Jira will automatically create the ticket for you. The other thing is you have the chat. And so if you have Teams or Slack and you have a dedicated channel for your support, you can put in a question in there. And there's some mechanisms behind the scenes that can actually have a conversation with you. There's like a chat bot that's available that will kind of respond, and if it can help you, great. If not, it'll bring in a human to give you a hand. And so let's go and take a look at how this looks like on the agent side. So I'm going to hit. I need my new VPN. So this is the same ticket that I created. And so a couple of things. You have obviously the information that you've put in. At the bottom here, you have the activity section where you've got the comments, history, work log, and so on. And so history is an interesting one. This is the area that shows anything that had happened with the ticket. And so who opened it up, when, any changes in status and so on. All of that is going to show up here, and you'll be able to trace any of the changes through this UI. On the right, you have the SLAs. The SLAs are actually an interesting topic. We could probably do a webinar just on those alone. But just to kind of give you an idea how this works. So for example, service level agreements can be set based on availability, calendar, and the working hours. And so if let's say we have a service desk that works from 9 to 5 every day, and from Monday to Friday. And so we have, for example, here, the time to first response, our SLA is 4 hours. So if a customer comes in on Friday at 4:30 and says, hey, I need a new VPN, and then the SLA starts ticking as soon as the ticket is created. And so time to first response needs to happen within 4 hours. And so what happens is, for the first 30 minutes, right, until the service desk closes, the SLA will tick for 30 minutes. Then it will pause, and then resume ticking after the when the next business day starts. So 9 a.m. Monday morning, you as an agent are gonna have 3.5 hours to give this person a first response. And so the rest of the SLAs are, kind of made in the same way. And so if you have metrics for time to first response, time to resolution, or any other matrix that you want to put in there, obviously all these are configurable. You can add that in, and they'll be taken. But you can do some reporting around that as well, which I'll show you in a little bit. On the right, you have the details of the ticket, and essentially, just basically anything that describes the ticket to the agent, what the priority of it is, who it was assigned to, any labels that were applied to it, who reported it, and if there's any other request participants, meaning that somebody else got their ticket shared with. The other thing is I want to mention here, you have the knowledge base as well. And so for the agent's sake, right, if there's already a solution to the problem that customer is requesting, they can actually go in and take a look at the at any of the articles that are out there and see if they will solve the problem customer is asking. And so I'm going to click on the first one. As an agent, you can go and take a look. It's the same one that we looked at in the beginning. And if I feel that this is something that can solve the customer problem, I can actually click share as a comment. And you'll see that in the comments section, I designate the replies to customer. It gives automatic link to the article, and I can save and send that message to a customer. The other thing is, while we're on the section, I can actually add internal note and say, I sent an article to the client. And I can tag another person. Maybe it's somebody who can help me work in this request and so on. And so the way that it looks like on the other end, on the client, that I can actually refresh the portal and the view ticket of the portal, and you'll see that right away. You'll have the article that was shared with me in here, and so this conversation can go on forever until the issue is resolved. This did not help, and so got in the same way. If I'm going to go back to the agent view. As I go in and look at the tickets, I'll refresh it, and that information is going to be shared with the agent, and they continue looking at it. Kind of going back to the right, you've got the other fields that might be applicable to a request, and so you can fill those in depending on the need. And these can be either from a custom fields within Jira, or there might be anything that's related to asset that can be added to that as well. While we're on the subject of assets, let me go back real quick to the portal. And if I remember correctly, I'll go request new hardware. You can see that this request is a little bit different than the one we saw in the beginning. Kind of the same summary. I'll add that in. Description. And so And below description is where it starts to get interesting. I can actually, for this particular request, if I want to request new hardware, I can say, well, which device types do you want? And so we have a catalogs of device that we support. And so it's, hey, I want a new laptop. And then it'll filter down and give me the catalog of available laptops that we have in the system. And so I can choose that and create a ticket for the request of the laptop. And so as we switch over to the agent side, you'll see that the fields for the description of the device is there, and so I can actually take a look and see what does this device actually look like, right? So it's a MacBook, 16-inch, and so on. And so this is kind of the integration of the asset management. We're gonna have a separate webinar that we can go through and talk about assets, but essentially being able to grab assets from your catalog and make them part of your tickets goes a long way. If I actually take a look at the asset itself, and let me quickly do that. The reason this is important, the integration like this is important, is that not only that I can see it in the on the Jira Service Management side, I can actually go take a look at the asset, and I can see all the tickets that this asset has been mentioned in. And so if this asset has been mentioned in multiple tickets, those tickets are going to show up here. A lot of times, and this comes to shine when you have say a server, and you keep having issues with that server. Maybe the memory keeps going out, or the hard drive keeps going out. And so if you have multiple tickets that are associated with it, you'll see that, and you see how problematic this asset is. Maybe something needs to be done. So there's a little bit of analytics that can be done to kind of review that. In terms of the automation, right, you'll see that the there are rules execution that are available right away on the ticket itself. And so if there's any that are relevant to the ticket, if there are any rules that have fired, they will show up there. But if we go in and actually look at the automation rules, there's a big list of rules that's already been set up. And so there's a bunch that you can do. Obviously, there's quite a few that have been set up, and you can actually create, obviously, a new one. And you can do this on all kinds. So everything starts with the trigger. So something has to happen. An issue needs to get created. A version gets deleted, or issue is moved, or transitioned, and so on. So all of these triggers are available. And so obviously the most popular one is issue created. And so we'll say, hey, when issue gets created, we can do something. So you can add an action, or you can add a condition. So based on condition, you can do some other actions. Or you can give a little bit more intelligence. You can branch out from the issue creation and say, for this branch, if something happens here, then do something. Or if this is, then do something else. And so you can continue building these automations. Like I said, if you can speak English, you can definitely create these automations. There's a ton of different actions available. And so if we look at a few, you can automatically assign issues. You can create a comment on the issue. You can link issues. You can edit. You can transition automatically. You can fetch data. Many other things. If something that that you want to do is not here, there's a section that's available in the automation. You can run custom scripts. And so if you have a script you want to run, if you want to connect to a service, you can do that all through the automation, kind of weave a little bit of the scripting to connect to the external service, and being able to bring that into your issues. Greg, Monica, thoughts so far?
Yeah, we have one question that says if we can customize the interface, like adding corporate logos, some specific colors, things like that.
Obviously on the portal side that is available, we kind of went through that in the beginning. In terms of the Jira itself, there is some elements in Jira that you can customize in the top ribbon and some of the colors that you can change to kind of make this your company colors. But beyond that, I mean, the most customization can happen on the portal to kind of identify your company. If you're looking to kind of go far beyond that, there are other apps out in the marketplace that we can recommend that they can actually take the the customization of the UI to the next level and give you a lot more controls to do that.
Perfect, thanks.
Absolutely. And so I wanted to talk about a little bit around Confluence and how that's structured. And so let's open that up and take a look at the Confluence. For some reason, it's asking me to log in. Well, let's see. Hopefully, there you go. So now, Confluence, if you're familiar, it essentially functions the same way. You have, spaces that that you've set up. You need to create a specific knowledge base space so it supports your Jira Service Management project, and we have a specific one called IT support. And essentially, you can search within it. So I'm going to put in VPN. You should read there some results, and so it'll go in and search for the articles and bring those up. You can see that on the left here, we've organized it into processes and standards, and some of this can be viewed by the through the portal. Some of it cannot be. We got some troubleshooting articles, and so some of this only available to the agents, and obviously the how-tos, and these are available to the customers that utilize in the portal. And so the idea is I kind of have this central place where you can put in the knowledge around everything that your help desk, your service desk is doing, and being able to kind of search through it and understand what is going on. You can categorize it, right? So we have an ability to kind of browse by topic. You can throw different labels on the article. So we're going to take a look at the one that we have. We've got labels around VPN, Connect, how-to article, and so on. So you can add this on the fly as well if you want to categorize it even further. And so really very simple to change, simple to add items and build out the parent-child structure on the Confluence side. And so it's available and accessible, and we've seen a lot of success with folks using this. On the service desk side, the one thing that I wanted to stress out is that you can have a myriad of different articles within your knowledge base. You do have control within the Jira Service Management project to filter which categories, which types of articles are available for the customers to search. And so if there's some that you want, like I said, they will be available only to the agents or to the admins or whatever, you can filter those out, based on permissions. Only the ones that you want to show will be shown to the customer. The one thing that I wanted to bring up, and this is not something that Greg has touched on in the presentation, but I felt that this is a good a bit to add to the demo. Let's say you're an agent and you came in to a ticket that is very lengthy, and maybe you've got somebody else working on it, and then you kind of were brought in, and there's a lot of information that you need to read through. Atlassian introduced Atlassian Intelligence, and so it's been rolling out little by little to some of the instances out there. And so we have a little bit of functionality that we can demo for you. In particular, we got this summarize button that you can click. And essentially, if the ticket is big and if I need to have a quick understanding of what's going on, I can click the summarize button, and essentially the Atlassian Intelligence, the AI, was going to go out, look through the ticket, and create a summary for you of who said what, when, and what went on with the ticket. And so quickly you'll get the summary presented to you, so you can catch up very quickly. Obviously, we have only a handful of comments here, but we've seen tickets with a couple of dozen of comments. It makes it a lot easier to kind of hit the summary and understand what went on, and have kind of intelligent a view of the ticket in the very compressed fashion. Greg, Monica, any other questions that may come up?
Yeah, I have one. How does Jira Service Management differ from traditional ITSM tools?
So, first of all, it's the integrations, right? Those are in parallel. If you are engaging with the whole Atlassian suite, having an understanding of how all that works and how the integrations work, it will make it very powerful. Will make it a very powerful tool for you. Being able to kind of engage other team members without them being members of a service desk is definitely a leg up. The other thing is the integration of the service management knowledge base, and so having that integration is a big help, and especially having that at the fingertips, not only on the agent side but also on the customer side. So kind of having that self-service portal, and just in general, just having an ability, an open system to bring in other tools to help you do all this other work that you need to do without kind of leaving the context. If you have a status page, it will be shown here. If you have a pager duty, it will be shown here. If you are utilizing the challenge calendar service and alerts and on-call capabilities of the Ops Genie, you can use all of that here without kind of leaving the context. And as I said, having an ability to engage other team members, not necessarily part of the service management project, you can go and search for the issues that are out there that may be related to it and select them, or you can go ahead and click create a new linked issue. Jira will automatically pull in some of the information from your ticket, from the summary and the description. You can edit here and hit create, and essentially, okay. Here we go. Let's say I want to engage a mobile team, and so I hit create. It'll automatically create the ticket for you and throw that into the backlog for that development team in case there's something that needs to be done. And so you have this area where you can see, hey, I requested help from somebody else. This is the test that the tool created for them. I can see the status of it. On the other side, if I'm a developer, if I need to go take a look at something, how to help you solve the issue, you'll see that the issue right here, it's linked. I can see the status of it, and then if I need to go back and take a look at it, I can look through and land right in the service ticket. And so kind of having that integration, very big leg up in terms of usability, and kind of having the entire company being involved in trying to assist if there is a big problem. I want to do another a quick show and tell. Remember I said there is a kind of chat bot that's connected to this. It's still in preview. It's not fully set up, but I want to kind of give you a kind of taste of what something like that would look like. So we set up a dedicated channel to help for IT help, and so I can come in as an employee and say, hey, I need help with my VPN. And so I send that message, and there's going to be a quick response that will spawn up a thread It's going to say, hey, this is your virtual agent. Are you looking for VPN troubleshooting? And so you can see there's a little bit of intelligence. Obviously, my request is very specific. I mentioned the VPN, so we have so there's some responses that are kind of built in around that. But basically, you can have this conversation going back and forth with your kind of virtual agent before anything gets into the queue for the agents. And so I'm going to say yes to this, and the next step should be the assist agent, that virtual agent, going out to the Confluence and looking at the articles that are out there and suggesting some of the solves for you. That piece is not working yet. Like I said, they're rolling it out gradually, and so we don't have access to that particular feature for this instance. And so, it says it will try to help. If I can, then I ask one of my human teammates. And so, instead of kind of serving up the article that says, did this resolve your issue? Obviously, no. And so what's going to happen is this agent is going to turn around and say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and create a request for you. And so what happened, it automatically went out and created a request. And if everything goes right, we should see the request pop up in the our all open tickets in a second here. And so, and there you go. And so right there, we've got a ticket created by the virtual assistant. So that is still coming down the pipe, and then hopefully that'll be available soon on all instances out there. But this is something that is coming. That's nice and it's exciting. And we had the enterprise day demo around this, and a lot of people are very excited about having this functionality within their Jira Cloud offering that they use.